Okay, hello. My name is Dan Low, and in this video, I'm going to show you how to write a JavaScript program to compute Fibonacci numbers. Okay, so let's start out with the pseudocode. So the pseudocode start with the inputs. Okay, so we got inputs. So input a number, an integer. Okay, and paste it integer. Okay, and then the output. Okay, the output will be, let's say, an integer, and past integer, a past integer, not n. Okay, a past integer n, and then we can output Fibonacci n, output n. And so here we uh, define the Fibonacci 0, okay, equal to 0. Okay, uh, then Fibonacci 1 equal to 1. Okay, so that's the two initial conditions. Okay, now the pseudocode start with the here the pseudocode. So the pseudocode is the Fibonacci number, the nth Fibonacci number uh, is computed, okay, by the sum the sum of the sum of the the n minus 1 n minus 1 and n minus 2 Fibonacci number. Okay, Fibonacci, let me put it here, Fibonacci in numbers. Okay, and this is the first one we need to have. Okay, now now we need to consider the initial condition, okay, so if uh, n, okay, is less than less than 2, let's say 0 1. Okay, okay, and then then the Fibonacci number n is equal to n. Okay, because if n is 0, Fibonacci 0 is 0. If n is 1, Fibonacci 1 is 1. Okay, so and we assume n is larger than or equal to 0. Okay, if n is less than 0, then well, we don't define it, undefined, so we'll return negative 1. Okay, so let's move this initial condition to the top of the pseudocode right here. So let's put a gap in between. Okay, so let's go like this. So pseudocode is like if n is less than 2. Okay, then the Fibonacci n is n. Okay, and well, we need to make sure n is larger than equal to 0. otherwise we don't do anything. Okay, so and that's a basic check. We don't put it here, we can put it somewhere. Okay, but now we assume this precondition of this one is n is larger than or equal to 0. Okay, so we'll put here assume n is larger than or equal to 0. Okay, so that's the pseudocode. Okay, now we're gonna implement the Fibonacci number. Okay, by getting the input from the HTML page right here. Okay, so we should get the pseudocode right here. Okay, another one. So let's see. We want the okay, another one. Okay, so the pseudocode is get input, get n from the input, field or box, the HTML input field. Okay, to get it from there. Okay, and then do the computation. So that's now got the pseudocode. Then we're going to implement this, okay, in JavaScript. So we first we need to change the HTML page, the heady page, the HTML. Okay, so the first one I changed the source, to the Fibonacci.js, which is this one. Okay, it's already there. But the field now is a file from the previous assignment. So when I change the type to number, and there are a lot of types for the input field in HTML. You can check, on the W3 school page, okay, or other HTML document. Then ID, I'm gonna put ID say n, and the name, I'm just gonna use n as the name as well. Okay, so we save it and then we reload it. Now it got changed. So now this is the number. You can insert number there. Okay. So now we got the input number field. Okay, then we'll go back to the Fibonacci here, Fibonacci.js here. So we get n from the HTML input field. Okay, and it's number field. So in order to get the number, entered in the input field here to the program, you need to register unchanged, okay, method for this widget. Okay, so we do we register unchanged method for the input field, so that we can get a number. Okay, so to do that, we do document that get element by ID. Okay, and we know ID is n. Okay, and once we get an element handle, we can just register unchanged, and unchanged is gonna be a function. And this inside the function, we just gonna test, console.log to test to see if we can get the number. And okay, and since the number name is n, and we want is a value, not number, not the field itself. So we put n the values. Okay, so save it, and then we reload it. Okay, now you say 1 2 3 4. Okay, if you hit enter, now you got the console.out get 1 2 3 4 from here. So we got end that value. If we change to 1 2 3, we got end 1 2 3. So it's okay, it's running good. Okay, so we got a number right here. Okay, we just end that value. Okay, so we can remove this, and then we know we have the enter value there. Okay, so enter value is the value we got. Okay, um, so after that, we have, wait, we got uh, and the value, but I want to assign the value to the number n. So let's see, we can change it a little bit. We can change the name to n1, okay, and ID, the ID say n, n input, okay, and then the name is n1, okay, so that we don't get confused. Okay, so let's go back to IDs and input and then it's n1. So I'm gonna do it n1 the value, okay, so that we know it's coming from here. So reload again. So let's say 1 2 3 4 again. So we got some error. N1 is not defined. So name n1 n input. Okay. Is n1 is not defined. Okay. So once, so ID is n input. And so it doesn't like the name n1 variable. Okay, let me see if I can do n1. Yeah, it doesn't like this. Okay. So it's fine. We can get its value. Okay. So we can get the document that get element by ID and input, and then and that's element that value. Okay. And then try it again. So now we got the value back. So maybe we need to name it the same. Let me give it another try. Even though now it's working. Okay. Let's give the name say n input. Okay. And then come back here. We say okay. We keep that one. And then do another console log. Just do some test and input. Okay, try this one below. Okay, and then 1 2 3. Let me see if we got a 2 1 2 3. Yeah, I did to get to 1 2 3. So maybe I need to name the same anyway. Okay, so anyway we got that, either one will work. So let's use this one. So input the value, it's the value n. So I'm just gonna assign that to n. Okay, so that's our n. Okay, okay, so now we know we have the n input already. In the second one, we need to check if n is less than larger than 0. Okay, if n is not larger than 0, then we don't do anything. Okay, so let's see, we need to move this guy down here because this should be inside the unchanged. Okay, or you can create another function. Okay, so we've first hold on, let me create another function. So let's say okay, so let's check if n is less than 0. Okay, then we simply just return. Okay, we return. Okay, return, don't do anything. Okay, so if we pass this line, that means we can call Fibonacci. Okay, so we create a function called Fibonacci. Okay, and by passing n over it. Okay, Fibonacci n. Okay, and Fibonacci n will return the value back, and we're gonna output it that. Okay, so console log. Okay, log this return value from the Fibonacci. Okay, and then that will complete this function, and then the rest will be the Fibonacci definition. So let me copy it, and then we can define it here or define it up. Okay, so normally in your back convention we can, well, JavaScript allow you to define the function after you use it. Okay, but normally you will define the function first and then you can call it. So normally I move up here. So let me just do this up here. Okay, so that will be our Fibonacci number. Okay, so we say var Fibonacci. Okay, Fibonacci is a function. Okay, and that return that receive a value n. Okay, so here yeah, up here, right? Okay, so that will be the implementation of Fibonacci inside right here, this function. So if n is less than 2, okay, so we first check. Okay, if n is less than 2, that means it's 0 or 1. Okay, then Fibonacci, then not Fibonacci, return. Okay, return n, because n could be 0, and then Fibonacci 0 is 0, n could be 1, and Fibonacci 1 is 1. Okay, and that's done. So after that we implement this recursion. So after that we need to compute this, right? So we simply just return, because we're computing the n, right? So we return Fibonacci n minus 1. Okay, plus Fibonacci n minus 2. Okay, so and that should be the implementation. Okay, so after that let me reload, and then let's test 0. Okay, and then see what happens. Okay, so if I put 0 here, it output 0. If I put 1, it output 1. That's good. If I put 2, what's the Fibonacci 2? Okay, it's equal to 0 plus 1, which is 1. Okay, and so it's 1. And how about 3? 3, if I put 3, so the Fibonacci 3 is equal to 2 plus 1, which is 3, right? Wait. Fibonacci 3, oh, 5, sorry. Fibonacci 3 is 2. And Fibonacci 4. This time my program is not running. Let me reload again. So Fibonacci 3 is 2. Okay, Fibonacci 4. Oh gee, Fibonacci 4 is 3. Okay, and Fibonacci 5. Looks like not computing very well. Let's see. Let me 5. Fibonacci 5 is 5. Okay. Fibonacci 6 is 8. Okay. Fibonacci 7, 13. So it seems it's okay. Very good. Okay. So that's pretty much about it. If you want to list all the Fibonacci numbers, the first n Fibonacci numbers, you can use a for loop to do it. So that is the recursive version of Fibonacci number computation. And that's all I have for this video. Thank you very much. Have a good day. Bye.